Well, hey, everybody. Hi, I'm Mike Alley from the Concert Spot, and I want to welcome you to the very first Wednesday edition of the Concert Spot Live. We're going to be here on a weekly basis, hopefully, to be talking with some of your favorite artists, a little bit about life on the road. What's it like behind the curtain and, what's happening? I mean, you see a lot of them on stage and talking about all that stuff, but what's it really like when you have to travel in a bus and on the road and across the country all the time and be away from your family and those kinds of things? We may also have time to take your questions, so you can put them in. If you're watching us on Facebook, we'll pop up and maybe we'll get a chance to do that as well. Hey, I want to encourage you right now, if you would, to follow us. Yep, we've got our theconcertspot.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. You can subscribe on our YouTube page. Follow us here on Facebook. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter. Wherever you be social, that's where we be. And we're at the Concert Spot in all of them. And I also want to encourage you to head over to our website at theconcertspot.com. We've got a little spot over there called Insiders, and that gives you a chance to sign up to become an insider, which means you get things like emails with pre-sale passwords and other cool things, when we're doing concerts again. So we'd like you to go over there and be a part of our insiders team. So, hey, you know what? I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm excited about our guest. This is the gentleman and his group that we've gotten to know over the last few years. You're going to know the songs instantly and everything. He's an amazing guy with an amazing ministry and life story and all of that. And he's also killer live. It's really great. But the coolest thing is he just dropped a remixed version of his song Love. You're going to love this. Here's We Are Messengers.
Yeah, everybody hurts sometimes, I know that's what they say. But right now it seems this loneliness won't go away. Yeah. Can anybody feel this heartache? Is anyone around? Feels like we're running round in circles, we can't catch a breath. We can't enjoy the moment when we always want what's next. Yeah. Just when I can't take no more, it's when I hear you say, don't hang your head when you get lonely. No, I'll never leave your side. And don't go thinking you're the only one that can get it right. Yeah, you got my love down in.
Oh, amazing clip. If we played all of it, they'd probably block us from, YouTube or Facebook. But let me welcome Darren Mulligan from We Are Messengers here to the Concert Spot Live. Hey, Darren, how you doing?
Good man, Mike. I think that might have been the extended remix where it speeded up on my end.
Well, thank you for taking some time and being here. But as I say to everybody, what else are we doing, right?
No, dude, except getting in trouble with our wife and kids for not doing enough. And,
not doing.
It's a strange time because, even as artists, we feel kind of useless, and so we've started doing. It's funny, we've started probably giving away more than we should, for free. The way all these artists initially ran to do live things, and we did too, a lot of them. I started to realize, well, we actually work really, really hard for years and years and years. And I think I hope that we don't devalue what artists do in this period by just hitting everything live on the internet, because you're never going to replace a live show. You're never going to replace that feeling of people laughing and crying and jumping and shouting. And so I'm trying to avoid the internet as much as possible, but I'm not doing a good job at it, Mike.
None of us are. I mean, in some way, it's the way that we're staying connected to people.
It is. Yeah, so, and that's beautiful. By the way, You look so good, dude. You look amazing. You lost so much weight, bro.
I have. Yep. It's been a lot. So,
amazing.
Yeah, it's I'm feeling good. And let's face it, pretty much it's this and I walk the dog. So, I'm trying to stay away from the refrigerator. But so, Darren, without getting into your whole story, there's, you've talked about your story and there's tons of interviews on that. With this, we're looking at what it's like for you as a guy on the road. You have a couple of things. You're married, you have kids, but you've been on the road even before you became a Christian, even before you were We Are Messengers. You've been on the road for how many years?
Man, probably in some capacity for maybe 10 or 11 years, you know. And I guess in those early days when it was like in a hardcore screamo band, this was before, you know, Jesus or any hope in my life. You know, we toured in a Ford. It wasn't a Ford. It was like a Chevy, one of those little vans with the fold-out seats in the back.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? I don't know. And we would travel and live on $5 a day from McDonald's and Burger King. Because most people don't know about me is that I lived in America for 3 years around 2003. And that's when we were in this independent band. And so it was messy, dude. Like, I look back at it now and I'm able to see God still developing things in me that he would use for this part of my life. But a lot of that was just time where I was a mess. You know, I was a drunk and I was an adulterer. And I was really violent. And I used music to get what I wanted, you know. And then when I came to faith in Jesus, and most people don't know this too, I sold all my instruments. I said I'd never play music again because I'd found everything I needed in Jesus. And even how our record deal got offered to us, that was just me praying to God one day, telling God I didn't need music anymore. And the next day, Word Records in Nashville called and asked me to come out to Nashville, you know? And so doing what we do now, getting to travel in a tour bus and, you know, have catering and all of that stuff, man, I never forget how, like, privileged that is. And so my team will be the first team on the bus to say thank you to the bus driver, to say thank you to caterers, to say thank you to security guards, because we realize we are really incredibly fortunate to do what we do, you know?
And that said, though, this life is not for everybody.
No, bro, it's hard. Like, you know, for full transparency, me and my wife, you know, went through a period of counseling last year. And you actually talked about that, but when you say yes to leaving your family for between 100 and 150, 200 days a year, which was the upper end of our touring, you're saying no to being with your family. And that leaves a lot of scars and a lot of wounds and a lot of issues and resentment. And so we've been able, thank God, to, you know, people like you, Mikey. Thankfully, we've been able to cut way back on shows and do the right shows at the right time and put our family first. And so there's a healthy balance to be found, but even the balance is hard work. We couldn't do this if I didn't believe we weren't changing lives. And my wife didn't believe we weren't changing lives. If this was just playing, being a rock star, I have no time for that whatsoever. You know?
Right. And you said it's a key important part to have your spouse and your family behind you, because this isn't just like being, you know, a pastor's wife. There's tons of struggle and all the things that go along with this. But I mean, you're gone a lot of times 4 days a week, right?
Man, I this was the first year that I've been at my daughter's birthday in 4 years. You know, I have missed more birthdays, more anniversaries, more important occasions, more school meetings than I ever thought I would. But now that we have the opportunity to say no to certain things, well, maybe not right now because we would do anything to play a show right now, Mike. But in general, we're able to say, well, these are things we need to protect, and we need to protect certain days, certain weeks, certain months. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's easy. If you imagine having an argument with your wife, but imagine having an argument with your wife on the phone, having not seen her for 12 days. Everything's amplified, everything's emotionally charged. And so we've had to learn to take it really easy on each other. And my wife is so patient, Mike, so kind to me. And we just can't do it unless they're on board. And I wouldn't do it unless she was on board, you know.
Gotcha. So we talked about the struggle there and how that can be. But then there's the other side of it, which is you're packed into this bus, and as comfortable as modern tour buses are, you're with a group of people for, as you said, sometimes, 12 days or longer on the road together. That's a different life. I mean, people start picking up a guitar or something and go, I'm going to play musician, and you see them on stage, but your hours with people, in a
Yeah.
cramped little lounge on a bus, and 12 or 14 people on that bus, and
Wow.
that's got its own situation there.
Yeah, it's not glamorous by any stretch of imagination. Now, comparatively to being a guy that survived on lifting, dimes and quarters off the dirty floor of a tiny van for 3 years, I feel like I've won the lottery. But you really have to learn to respect people's personal space. You have to learn to love people well, because a lot of these guys on buses can be strangers, can be crew that you never worked with, teams you never worked with. And so, but I think one thing that we masters do really well is that we don't spend a lot of time on the bus. So if we go play a show, you're not going to find us hiding on the bus and then just rock on stage, play the show, and get back on the bus. Like, we believe in investing in the communities we go to. We believe in investing in the teams that we're a part of. And so you'll find us more often hanging out in coffee shops during the day. The amount of times we'll be in a coffee shop and people will be like, "Oh, you guys are wearing messengers," and I'm sticking a chocolate croissant into my face. But that's why we're kind of different than some bands, in that we're just super blue collar. Like, we don't think we're special, because we're not. There's no superiors in the kingdom of God. There's just sons and daughters, and we want to treat everyone better than we would treat ourselves. We don't always do it, but that's the plan.
So tell me without naming any names or anything.
Yeah.
Do you have that one show where you just wish, wow, I wish we never pulled up to this place? Did just something go horribly wrong, or was it just like, oh my gosh, why are we here?
Mate, that happens so much more than you would ever know. And I think summer touring festival season is like prime time for just going, I can't believe we're in a field and the audience is sitting on hay bales, and there's like more sheep than there are humans here.
Okay.
So then it happens. It's funny, as time was going on, they've become less and less and less. But dude, honestly, there's something pretty cool about turning up on a show just falling apart, just being a mess. And that's happened a few times, and some of them have been my favorite shows. So the sound will go out, the PA will go out, the lights will go out. And then you find out who actually knows how to play their songs and who doesn't. And so you can strip it back. You can have the crowd sing them songs. I don't know. When God messes it up, I'm okay with that too,
Well, you mentioned one of the things that we're doing on here is we are going to ask over the course here of 5 questions. And one of them you kind of already touched on a little bit, but what is your favorite show day activity away from the venue? So you get there, you've got some time, load-in's gone great, all that.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it going to a coffee shop, or is there something like, if you get a chance, I'm going to go do this?
Yeah, so we got these electric bikes. This company called Electric, there's the plug, everybody, Lectric. They hooked us up. And so a lot of time when we get to a city, we'll just get off the bus, go to catering, eat some food, meet the team, hang out for a little bit, then hop on the bikes, head downtown, get coffee, cappuccino, Starbucks, whatever it is. Very simple. And I would like to play tennis, so I might go for an hour or two of tennis, get back to the venue, hang with everyone for dinner, do devos, get ready for stage, hit the show, finish the show, and then do meet and greet, back in the bus, eat some terrible food, go to sleep, rinse and repeat.
Well, okay. So about that, one of our questions, it's going to be a good day when you walk into catering and see what?
Oh, dude, the big like mobile cooking thing where they can make me omelets. If there's a guy there making omelets, dude, I feel like freaking Michael Jackson or Madonna. I'm like, I've made it. There's a man making omelets, and I'm all in. You give me eggs and fried potatoes, I'm your man.
Okay. And one thing, now this isn't one of our 5 questions, but I did kind of put this when we said we were doing this. What's with the Irish butter? Is that better?
Oh no, it's so much better. So if you can find Kerrygold butter,
Kerrygold, that's what it is. What is it about Kerrygold?
Dude, it's made from it's real cow's milk from proper cows that actually have grass to eat and walk around in fields.
Oh, okay.
So these cows are living like their life. They're like those Japanese cows with people massaging them and stuff. Not quite. But it just tastes better. It's Irish. Everything tastes better in Ireland.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just put that down. That's it then. What's your favorite road snack? What do you have on the bus?
Oh,
Got to be there for you to munch on.
yeah. I really like, and this is so normal, but what do you call those things? We have the packets of peanuts and they have like trail mix. I
Oh,
love
okay.
trail mix. So trail mix is on there. I love watermelon too. You get me some trail mix and watermelon, dude. I just realized my diet is terrible.
Well, now here's what we have to talk about though. Trail mix with the M&Ms or real trail mix?
Yo, give me all the M&Ms, bro. You
Okay.
kill that thing. I was sitting last night. My wife had went to bed, and I sat up, and she was like, "Are you gonna have something to eat?" I'm like, "No, I'm trying to cut back at eating because it's like 10 o'clock at night." She went to bed, and I went straight to the fridge and got 2 big ice creams. Ate the ice creams, and I went and got myself some peanut M&Ms. No, it's not smart. It's not smart. I need to cut that out before I go back on the road.
Oh my goodness. So besides your Bible and your phone, what's the one thing you don't go on tour without?
My in-ears. That's a really boring answer. So we have. Do I have them here somewhere? Oh yeah. So these are my. So for you guys that don't go on tour a lot, so these are in this box. I have this with me all the time. So inside that, you open that up and you have my in-ears. Where's the camera? There. And so that's what I put in my ears every night we play a show or we sound check. Always have to take that. And the other thing I always take, and I know that my guitar player Kyle would say this, is heartburn tablets. I get heartburn like every night because
all the trail mix before bed.
exactly.
So, I guess,
so, I shouldn't do that either, but there you go. Yeah.
Are you a good bus sleeper?
Pretty good. Yeah, the first few days is always hard to get used to because it's moving from side to side. You know, and we also had a bus crash a few years ago. So if I hear the rumble strips, that just freaks me out. There was a period there where I didn't sleep without my clothes beside me in the bunk for maybe 6 or 7 months because I was like, if this bus is crashing, I'm gonna at least be fully clothed this time.
Okay. Oh my.
I'm Irish. I can laugh about it at this stage. As hard as it's all been, you know.
You'd never thought you'd have to think about, right?
No, dude. But when you're standing on the side of the road in your underwear and the bus is burning and a man is dead, and you know, it has a way of shocking you for the rest of your life. And I think it's a really defining moment for me. Every time I get onto a bus, Mike, I remember that there was a moment when I said I would never get onto another bus again. There was a moment when I said I would quit music and I would go home to Ireland because we had lost this tragedy. There was so much lost in it. But we didn't stop and we kept going. And, you know, we have a plaque on my wall. There's a thing above my head, that little frame you see, a picture frame up there. So that's a page from my Bible that the Wreckers Yard found. And on it says, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. And that's on my wall, and it reminds me that we got back in that bus. And that every time we do that, we're going with a mission, not an agenda. We don't go with an agenda anymore. Maybe sometimes we used to. Now we go with a mission to love people, love them well, and have conversations about a God they cannot see, who can be hard to believe in, but who is incredible. And once you've tasted and seen that he's good, you'll never want to taste anything else.
Oh, well, and when you come through those kinds of things, you know, it is a test of your faith.
Yeah.
Because it's more than just, oh, it's a belief. There's now a physical fear involved that you have to get beyond.
But isn't that life in a way? Like, you know, I'm looking at the chaos that's enveloping a lot of cities, and without getting too deep into that, but like, I think the response, you tend to go to the response, which is respond out of fear. But I think this is a moment where we take something that's really difficult, and instead of hiding and running from it, we press into it. And maybe pressing into it right now is just listening to people in the African American community who haven't really been heard. And maybe it's also pressing in with truth and grace. Maybe it's possible to say that we need to honor George Floyd's death. We need to make change around policing, but we also need to honor the police that do an incredible job. And we also need to bring the kingdom in by condemning violence in every form. And so I think instead of being a people who run from difficult conversations and difficult seasons, the church should be people that bring the kingdom in. You know, we shouldn't run from it and hope that it all goes away. We should bring the kingdom in and say, well, this is what Jesus would do. This is how he would love. And that's what we intend to do with it.
Wow. And that's the words that we need to just say over and over again. And it just needs to continue to be said time and time again through all of this, not just at a time like this, but the times when everything's quiet. We still need to be reaching out and having those conversations and spreading that love.
Sure.
So,
well, you know, Mike, like we've gone in an industry where, you know, you're doing X amount of shows a year with your team, you know, I don't know, 100 shows a year, say, and I'm doing 100 shows a year. And we've gone from having the busyness of that to not having any of it. And now we've all had to reevaluate, well, do we actually care about what we do? Does any of it matter? Did it matter? And will it matter in the future? And so for me, I'm very much in the place of going, it did matter, but there's even more to press into. It's even more important now that we share this message, that we share this hope. And the same for you, mate. I know it's hard. It's going to be hard for us all to get back on our feet, but by golly, we're going to do it because it needs to be done, you know?
Yep. And it does. And the music needs to be out there, and people are hungry for it because you know, it's the old saying, you don't realize what you've missed till you don't have it anymore, you know?
True. And there's got to be a better way, because again, even in the Christian music industry, we scorch the earth. We play too many shows. We go to too many places. And so now we need to be sensible at how do we make it sustainable long-term in a healthy way. And my worry is, Mike, is that as an industry and as an artist, we're not going to have those conversations, and we're all just going to go straight back to doing what we always did. And it's an opportunity to make all of this healthier. And these are conversations we need to be having now, not in 6 months, you know.
Yeah, it is. And even, you know, churches are having those conversations. Do we do things the same way that we've done it before? You know, it's stretched us, it's innovated. And I do think that God continues to show himself in all of this. So,
yes,
you know, we just need to remember that as things start to open up a little bit. But so, hey, Aaron had a question, and I want to get that up there. What's your favorite way to relax that isn't related to much? And I have a feeling she meant music. So what's your way to relax that isn't related to music?
Yeah, we used to have land back in Ireland, and I love to garden. Like, I love to grow vegetables. So like yesterday I had a spare few hours, and I went to Lowe's, picked myself up a bunch of, you know, 2x6s, went out and built some vegetable boxes and got some soil in there, planted some tomato plants, potatoes. So I love that. But I love sports. I really love playing tennis. I've loved playing tennis in this season. Soccer. Love watching sports. But honestly, like, I'm in my wee office thing, and it's not very impressive. But I bought a bunch of gear, and I've started learning how to produce music. You know, in terms of the actual creative pattern of creating beats and rhythms and all of this stuff. And that's been really fun. I'm shockingly bad at it. I'm good at writing songs. I'm shockingly bad at the technological aspect, but I'm learning it because why not? You know.
There you go. We've got the time. So, hey, so the final of our 5 questions that we do is, when you are on the road, are you a playlist guy for music, a podcast guy, an audiobook guy? What do you do?
Movies. Love Netflix. Get me some Netflix in. I started podcasting. I was listening last night to a podcast by a guy, Ravi Zacharias, who just passed away.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's proper meat. You know, and again, here's the challenge, Mike. How do we move from a Christian community who have been drinking milk for a long time to going, we're going to need to eat some meat here if we're going to solve the problems in our communities. And by that, I mean, faith comes by hearing through the word of God. So podcasting is a great way to start. Music, I tend not to do playlists, Mike. I'm old school. I like to pick an artist, and I like to listen to all their albums from start to finish. You know, I'm back on a U2 buzz at the moment, just back in listening to U2. I do that every like 6 months. Yeah, but listening to a lot of Coldplay again. Like, Coldplay's new stuff's really interesting. And yeah, I guess I'm constantly writing. So if I'm not listening or consuming, I'm either reading, which is primarily the word, or I'm creating. and that's what I want to be about, because that's what God's asked me to do. You know?
Oh, well, so cool. Hey, Darren, one, just thank you for your time today, and always appreciate your heart. The new album is Power,
So,
and it's out everywhere. So you can get it on all the streaming, all the downloading, and all the everything. And the little clip that we played is from the YouTube video of Love, where you just did a remix. And tell me just a quick little bit about the remix and the artist, because I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So one day I was trolling through Apple Music, and I saw this artist called Mali Music, and he had this song called Let Go. And I remember telling my wife, this guy is incredible. He's so dope. And I'd never heard of him. But it turns out that this Mali guy was really influential in the R&B gospel community, especially a few years ago. And he just got back to digging into the record industry again. So I went out to LA to play at the Forum with Toby Mac on the Hits Deep tour. We knew he was going to be there. Got out, Mali came to our dressing room, cut the vocals on this remix we had been working on. We shot the video on the rooftop in LA and behind our tour bus on tour. And honestly, Mike, tell you why I love it, because we dropped it. We dropped the song the day after George Floyd died, and it was a coincidence, because we had been planning to drop it on that day for 2 months, and it took on a whole new meaning to me, because at a time when we're talking about racial reconciliation, you have a very Irish immigrant, right, living in Tennessee, singing a song of unity and love with this incredibly gifted African American artist. And I thought, like, it's the right time. And it sounds right. It sounds so fresh. I love the original version, but honestly, I prefer this version, to tell you the truth. He made it so much better. Dude, this is going to sound cheesy, but I need to say this. And I'm not promoting for King and Country song, although it's a banger together. But we're better together, dude. We really are better together. Yeah. And I'm not just saying white and Black and Hispanic together. I'm talking about just human beings. You see, mate, I'm citizen of heaven first and foremost. My affiliation is to the kingdom of God. And I don't care what color or creed or background or social class you're from. If you're in the kingdom, we're brothers and sisters. And if you're not in the kingdom, we love you as much as our brothers and sisters, because we love, because we've been loved first, you know. That's a rant. Sorry.
No. Hey, man, you can rant that all day long. So it's no issue with that. But Darren, from We Are Messengers, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate your time. We cannot wait until we can get back out and see you soon.
Come on, man. Shows. Let's do it. Let's get it done. I'm ready.
You got it. Well, thank you, man. Take care.
I love.
Hey, so that was great. Wow, Darren's amazing. And I want to thank you for being a part of the Concert Spot Live. This first Wednesday edition. We'll be back with next Wednesday at 3. In the meantime, of course, you can share this out with people. Hey, don't forget, you can follow us on all of our social medias. We're there at theconcertspot.com on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also subscribe on our YouTube channel. You'll see our videos there as well. And drop us a line. Let us know who you'd like to see here on the Concert Spot Live. We're looking forward to doing a whole lot more. So I want to thank you for being a part of this. I got to thank my producer, Becky, for handling all the behind the scenes, and we will see you very soon the next time. Again, follow us on all those places.